The best video cameras for 2020. Best video camera. Blackmagic Design Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Why you should buy this. Professional cinema quality at an enthusiast-friendly price. Who's it for? Student, aspiring, and professional filmmakers. Why we picked it. The Pocket Cinema Camera 4K takes a lot of what makes Blackmagic Design's professional Ursa Mini Pro 4.6K G2 camera special and serves it up at a fraction of the cost. Blackmagic Design is on a mission to lower the entry point for professional quality film production, and the Pocket Cinema Camera 4K is its biggest step in that direction yet. It is considerably more affordable than other cinema cameras and even cheaper than many hybrid mirrorless cameras that lack its video chops. It's built around the Micro Four Thirds system and uses a very similar sensor to the one found in the Panasonic Lumix GH5s. In early 2020, Blackmagic Design also added remote camera control through the ATEM Mini series of Livestream-ready HDMI switchers. This lets you use a connected computer to adjust exposure, color correction, and even focus and zoom on supported lenses. It turns the PCC4K into a venerable studio camera, suitable for everything from professional livestream productions to a company Zoom meeting. The camera features a gorgeous 5-inch Full HD display that is perhaps the best built-in monitor I've seen, although it does not tilt or flip. The touch interface is also brilliantly designed, making the PCC4K a surprisingly simple camera to use. Add the advanced audio inputs and controls, including both 3.5mm and mini XLR, and you've got everything you need to make your next blockbuster. Beyond the hardware, what really sets this camera apart from others is in the software. It records high-quality, edit-friendly file types including 10-bit Apple ProRes and even 12-bit Blackmagic RAW. Compared to the compressed formats most video cameras use, this means more detail and greater flexibility for color grading footage in post. You also get more options for storing that footage, as the camera records to South Dakota URC-Fast 2.0 memory cards or directly to an external solid-state drive over USB 3. Designed for workflows that involve a crew, the Pocket Cinema camera doesn't offer the creature comforts of most modern cameras. Autofocus is slow and often inaccurate, and there is nothing like the face or eye-tracking autofocus found on mirrorless cameras from the likes of Sony, Panasonic, Nikon, and Canon. It's also designed to be a single component within a larger rig, and many operators end up spending hundreds, if not thousands, more on accessories to fully kit it out. Even so, no other camera provides such a good starting point as the PCC4K for filmmakers who want the best quality on tight budgets. Blackmagic Design has since released the Pocket Cinema Camera 6K, an upgrade over, but not a replacement of, the 4K version. In addition to the extra resolution, it offers a larger Super 35 sensor and Canon F-lens mount. We still like the cheaper smaller PCC4K, but the 6K is worth a look if you demand even higher quality video. Best 4K camcorder. Sony AX700. Why you should buy this. Beautiful 4K footage from a large, 1-inch sensor and bright zoom lens. Who's it for? Those who aren't afraid to drop some cash for great image quality. Why we picked it. I'm not a big fan of camcorders, and I think your smartphone is an adequate substitute for many situations. But the Sony AX700 makes a strong case for itself with a good balance of portability and image quality. Camcorders are also a good choice for live events, from weddings to sports, where you need a camera that can keep shooting uninterrupted for a long period of time. Sony's 1-inch type sensors have dominated the compact camera market for years, and while those same sensors are newer to video cameras, they are no less impressive here, where they offer superior image quality to the usual 1/2-inch or smaller sensors found in camcorders. The 1-inch sensor in the AX700 helps it gather more light, bringing a serious image quality boost. Combined with the S-Log flat color profile, you can preserve more dynamic range to push the exposure and color further in post if you feel like getting that in depth. The larger a sensor is, the harder it is to put a long zoom lens in front of it, but Sony still managed to tack on a 12x zoom to the AX700. The f2.8 to 4.5 aperture is bright for the category, working together with the larger sensor to improve image quality in low-light scenes. On the flip side, a built-in neutral density filter will assist when the surroundings are too bright, helping to keep the shutter speed down so that video doesn't look jittery. The sensor and lens work together with a 273-point phase detection autofocus for smoother focusing with more accurate subject tracking. 4K video is recorded at 100 megabits per second, not as high as the likes of the Blackmagic PCC4K, but higher than the average consumer-grade video camera. Additional capabilities like HDR mode, 960 frames per second super slow motion, and a hot shoe connection round out the feature set. On the exterior, the camera offers a handful of manual controls including a multi-function lens ring that can control focus or zoom. Dual South Dakota card slots allow for plenty of storage and uninterrupted recording. The price is a bit steep for many buyers, but right in line for the class. Canon's competing Vixia HFG60 is a slightly more affordable alternative. It also offers a 1-inch sensor, but with an even longer 15x zoom and the same f2.8 to 4.5 aperture. It lacks the super slow motion mode and some other advanced features of the Sony, however. The best video camera for YouTube. Sony A6600. Why you should buy this. Excellent autofocus, good video quality, and 5-axis image stabilization. Who's it for? One-person crews who need a camera that's reliable, even when nobody is standing behind it. Why we picked it. There are many great options when it comes to choosing a video camera to help take your YouTube channel to the next level, but none that will make capturing great footage as easy as the Sony A6600. While this camera is loaded with tons of powerful features, there is one that really stands out when it comes to shooting video for YouTube. That's Sony's real-time eye and real-time tracking autofocus, which is hands down the best continuous focusing tech we've ever seen. For YouTubers who need to be on camera and don't have the luxury of working with another person as a camera operator, real-time eye AF will keep you in sharp focus, even if you need to move around within the frame. That's not the only thing that makes the A6600 a great video camera. It also shoots oversampled 4K video from its APS-C sensor for detail-rich output. The LCD screen can flip up 180 degrees, so you can monitor yourself while on camera. Dedicated microphone and headphone jacks allow you to upgrade the audio quality without any bulky accessories. The 5-axis sensor shift stabilization system keeps your videos smooth and steady when shooting handheld. The short flange back distance of the Sony E-mount also makes the A6600 very adaptable to other lenses, including those from Canon and Nikon DSLRs, which opens up a world of creative lens options. On top of all of this, the A6600 is also a top-notch still camera and is compact enough for travel. For jobs that require photography and video, you can knock both tasks out with the same tool. But let me address the elephant in the room, the Panasonic Lumix GH5. The GH5 offers higher quality 10-bit video files and some other pro-level features the A6600 lacks. I think it's an excellent choice, but Panasonic's contrast detection autofocus simply doesn't keep up with Sony's better technology, and I think the average YouTuber will find the A6600 a bit easier to work with because of this. Best video camera for travel. Sony RX100 VII. Why you should buy this. 4K video and excellent autofocus in a compact package. Who's it for? Travel vloggers and anyone else who needs great video quality in a small form factor. Why we picked it. While Sony recently announced a vlogger-oriented spin-off of the RX100 called the ZV-1, we haven't had a chance to test it yet. For now, the RX100 VII remains listed here. Regardless of how good the ZV-1 turns out to be, the RX100 has at least one potential advantage for travel videos: a longer zoom lens. The 7th iteration of Sony's class-defining RX100 brings a wealth of advanced features to the compact camera. Not only does the RX100 VII offer the most impressive video feature set of the series, but it also happens to excel at still photos, giving you a one-size-fits-all device for travel. It uses a 20-megapixel 1-inch sensor matched with a fast Bions X processor for detailed images and fast performance. The 24 to 200mm 8x zoom lens isn't long compared to a camcorder, but it's an impressive amount of range for a camera that can easily slide into a jacket pocket. 4K video can be recorded at either 30 or 24 fps, Full HD 1080p up to 120 fps, and super slow motion as high as 960 fps at lower resolutions. Hybrid log gamma and S-log profiles are also included for capturing more dynamic range and creating videos suitable for playback on HDR televisions. New to the mark is Sony's real-time tracking and real-time IF, the same focusing tech found in the A6600 mirrorless camera. This uses artificial intelligence to track moving subjects and keep them tack sharp in both still and video modes. Also new is a microphone jack that allows you to connect external microphones for better audio quality. All of these features mean the RX100 VII doesn't come cheap, but unlike traditional point-and-shoot cameras, it is built to last and should be viewed as an investment. The best full-frame video camera. Sigma FP. Why you should buy this? Full-frame sensor, raw video, impressive versatility. Who's it for? Professional YouTubers, indie filmmakers, and anyone who needs a versatile video camera. Why we picked it? This is a controversial choice, especially since the official announcement of the 8K shooting Canon EOS R5 and the impending release of the Sony A7's 3. For now, however, the FP remains the most unique full-frame camera on the market. I didn't exactly love the FP when I reviewed it as a still camera, but as a video camera? Well, it just keeps getting better. A firmware update in June 2020 expanded its RAW recording capabilities beyond Cinema DNG to support both Apple ProRes RAW and Blackmagic RAW when recording to external HDMI recorders. As far as I know, this is the first camera to support 3 different RAW video formats. The FP's main selling point is its impressive quality-to-size ratio. It shoots DCI 4096x2160 or UHD 3840x2160 4K video from a full-frame sensor in a body that can just about fit in your pocket. Despite the small size, it has a smartly designed exterior that is fully weather-sealed and incorporates an efficient heat sink that keeps the camera at optimum operating temperature, even when recording long takes of raw video. The pocketable nature of the FP means it can scale to fill many different roles. From a gimbal cam to a crash cam to a full-on studio setup with a tripod, cinema lens, matte box, and more, it's designed to fit the different needs of any given production. The relatively low cost makes it appropriate for indie and student films too, although most filmmakers will likely need to add several accessories to make it fit their needs, like a monitor, SSD, and external power solution. Working with RAW video is also a time-consuming task, but ProRes RAW and Blackmagic RAW do bring significant improvements here over Cinema DNG thanks to their efficient compression. But these formats both require an external recorder, whereas Cinema DNG can be recorded internally, limited to 8-bit, or directly into an SSD via the FP's USB-C port. Fortunately, the FP can also shoot in compressed .mov format at a high bitrate if you'd rather avoid RAW altogether. Due to the lack of a mechanical shutter, we don't recommend the FP for still photography. But for video, it's a truly special product with nothing else like it on the market, and Sigma has committed to keep it refreshed with firmware updates going forward. The best mirrorless camera for video. Fujifilm X-T4. Why you should buy this? 5-axis stabilization, great 4K quality, articulating monitor. Who's it for? Aspiring, enthusiast, and even professional video shooters. Why we picked it? Yes, Fujifilm has made the list of best video cameras, and for great reasons. After cultivating a rabid following of enthusiast still photographers with its retro designs and prime lenses, Fujifilm started turning its eyes to video around the time of the X-T2. 2 generations later, and it has all but perfected it in the awesome X-T4. The X-T4 is the first XT camera to feature 5-axis internal stabilization, which is a boon for videographers looking to smooth out those otherwise shaky handheld shots. The camera also introduces a fully articulating LCD screen so that talent operators can actually see themselves as they shoot, while the effective face and eye detection autofocus does a great job of staying locked onto the subject. Beyond this, the X-T4 serves up some of the most advanced video features of any mirrorless camera, offering 10-bit 4K video at up to 400 megabits per second, well above the data rate of the Sony cameras mentioned above. 4K can be recorded at up to 60 frames per second, while Full HD is available at up to 240 FPS for slow motion playback. Fujifilm's F-Log flat color profile is also available for both internal and external recording if you want capture the most dynamic range and don't mind doing a little color correction in post. Compared to previous Fujifilm X series cameras, the X-T4 also uses a higher capacity battery, extending 4K video record time up to 110 minutes. The best DSLR for video. Nikon D780. Why you should buy this? Professional 4K output and great autofocus. Who's it for? Photographers who need a capable one-camera solution for stills and video. Why we picked it? A DSLR wouldn't be my first choice for shooting video. A DSLR's optical viewfinder, beloved by many still photographers, is useless in live view mode and therefore wasted on video. But that hasn't stopped Nikon from giving its new D780 some serious video muscle. It's not to the level of the Canon EOS 1DX Mark III, but for a DSLR that doesn't cost over $6,000, you can't beat the D780. You'll find an equally capable video camera in the smaller, cheaper mirrorless Nikon Z6, but if you're a fan of DSLRs for photography and you know that's the kind of camera you want, then the D780 is your best choice for a model that can also handle video. Well, at least one that doesn't cost more than a used car. Like any DSLR, the D780 is first and foremost a still camera, and that's the primary reason to buy it. With its 24-megapixel full-frame sensor, it isn't the highest resolution still camera out there, but it still shoots excellent photos with loads of dynamic range, beautiful colors, and great low-light performance. But if you need to shoot the occasional video, the D780 will get the job done with professional quality results. The new on-chip phase detection autofocus works great for video mode and includes a reliable face detection feature. This type of autofocus isn't rare on mirrorless cameras, but this is the first Nikon DSLR to feature it. The real benefits of the D780 come in the quality of its video. It shoots oversampled 4K from the full width of its sensor, leading to very detailed footage that looks great on any device, from a phone screen to the best 4K TVs. You can even up your quality further by adding an Atomos Ninja V or similar HDMI video recorder. Internally, the D780 is limited to 8-bit 420 video, but it can output 10-bit 422 over HDMI, and doing so also opens up Nikon's N-Log flat color profile, which preserves more dynamic range. That gives you the features of a video-oriented mirrorless camera like the Lumix GH5, plus the benefits of a large full-frame sensor. Not too shabby. One thing some customers will be disappointed with is the lack of a fully articulating monitor. The D780's LCD screen tilts up and down, but that's it, making it poorly suited to vlog-style shooting. The crop sensor Canon EOS 90D is a good alternative at a cheaper price. It doesn't offer a log profile or external 10-bit recording, but it features great autofocus and a fully articulating monitor. That makes it a better camera for vlogging than the D780. It's also Canon's first DSLR to record 4K from the full width of the sensor, so your field of view W0N''T change between still and video modes. The best action camera. GoPro Hero8 Black. Why you should buy this? Stunning image stabilization and a versatile feature set. Who's it for? Anyone with a love for POV videos or who needs a camera small enough to go anywhere. Why we picked it? Calling the Hero8 Black an action camera isn't the most accurate way to label it. Yes, GoPro's latest flagship is still the best action camera you can buy, but it does much more than provide the point of view perspective for extreme athletes. New mods turn it into a powerful vlogging tool, adding an LED light, mini shotgun microphone, and even a flip-up selfie screen. The Hero8 Black is the first physical redesign since the Hero5 Black, incorporating a built-in mount that lets you forego a frame or case. This makes it faster and easier to set up, while also allowing you to swap batteries and memory cards while the camera is mounted to something. The camera is also thinner overall, making it more pocketable. GoPro also turned up its impressive hyper-smooth stabilization in the Hero8 Black, offering gimbal-like steadiness that smooths out the roughest trail runs or mountain bike rides. It's beyond impressive, and probably the #1 reason I'd recommend the Hero8 over other action cameras. It's far from the only new feature, however. Time Warp 2.0 offers new ways to create polished hyperlapse videos, automatically choosing the time-lapse speed based on camera movement and allowing you to slow down to real time at any point. New microphones and audio processing algorithms make voices easier to hear, even in windy and noisy conditions, and improvements to the interface make the camera even friendlier to use.